the sisters. Oh, it is. All right, no sir.
All right, yeah.
All right, all again, right? Nice. All right, appreciate it. All right, this is the I.S.U.P.K out of 100 SHALAM, New York, and the Commander General YAHANNA. All right, this is I.S.U.P.K Chairman Tobago Branch. Prison Officer Tazawa, Colonel Officer Galwan, the camp leader. All right, going into the scripture breakdown for Sunday night class as usual. Right, what we're going into tonight is the Mindstate of a Priest. Right, so we're going to touch on the book of Nehemiah and the struggles that Nehemiah really rebuild a nation in terms of getting back how we're supposed to think, how we're supposed to operate, the things that we really have to do, the dangers that you'll encounter and what to look out for. All these different elements that are very important to the life cycle of a nation, right? And how being in captivity now, you're seeing a proper example in any historical records of how your forefathers used to operate, even in captivity, and how they elevate and was considerate of the people, how they really mourn for the people and had a heart for the people. Right? Them is important things that they must get back in terms of really understanding nationhood, understanding brotherhood, understanding sisterhood, and how, you know what I mean, how your forefathers used to rule now, right? So what it is you go into is Nehemiah chapter 1, all right? Don't know. All right, so when you get a chance, Baba Gushasa,
Nehemiah chapter 1.
Verse 1, right? Right.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 1 and verse 1. The words of Nehemiah, the son of Hakaliah. And it came to pass in the month of Chisleu, in the 20th year, as I was in Shushan, the palace.
Right, so this is Nehemiah now. He's serving in Shushan. That is under them, what you call it? East Indians and them at that time. So he's serving under a great emperor. So it come like the same thing that Joseph had. Like Joseph, I kind of vice.
Verse 2. That Hanani, one of my brethren, came, he and certain men of Judah, and I asked them concerning the Jews that had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. Verse 3. And they said unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity there in the province are in great affliction and reproach. The wall of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. And it came to pass, when I heard these words, that I sat down and wept, and mourned certain days, and fasted, and prayed before the Most High Power of heaven.
Pause right there, Baba Kusha, right? So you see how good with Nehemiah, although he's in a high state, like them politicians today, like the Surgeon General. These men, that is what you're supposed to have. A care for your people. They're supposed to be weeping. You see, we're going on certain days, the brothers sit down and cry. You know what I mean? Well, you can say physically crying, but you're mourning because you're hurting for the state of your people and them. Plus, you know what I mean, your homeland. Picture you know what I mean, leave your mother and father good. They say you live in a neighborhood where majority of the people in the neighborhood is your family. Your own family, relatives, something like that. Then you hear, well, a war come and then they sweep out and burn down the whole village. Burn down all them other them house, you know what I mean? All the parents and them they're in distress, they badly beaten, some of them dead, all these kind of different things. So when you hear that now, that is the kind of mindset they're supposed to have, and that is the closeness that we lack as a people today. We don't have that identity, you know, like that real connectivity, you know, that with people and that real chemistry, and to really consider like a nation. You see, like what go on in Iran the other day, when they killed the man, when the USA killed the second ranking man in that place, about 80 million, or how much ever people come out, or 1 million, whatever. But the people flood the street. They flood the street in protest because that man, they really appreciate the man. They really love the people in them, and that is what we as a people exemplify. They learn that from us. All these ways and then is really and truly is what they see in the records and what you'll follow after, because we was the standard of the earth at one time. You know what I mean? But they understand love, they understand justice, they understand, you know, like the way then to really feel for people and them. And that is how it's supposed to be. And that is a key element that they don't want us to understand who is who in the Bible. They want us to understand that we is the children of Israel, that, you know what I mean, that they're supposed to mourn and weep for people and them in a right manner. you know what I mean, and hurt for them, and then go to the extent that you're praying before the Most High, you're fasting before them, because now you have the proper way to look at it. You know, the proper way to understand it now, right? Yeah, man. Reading on to verse 5, Baba Kasha.
Verse 5. And said, I beseech thee, O Most High of heaven, the great and terrible power, that keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments. Let thine ear now be attentive and thine eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of Israel thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which we have sinned against thee. Both I and my father's house have sinned.
I pause right there. That is our next key element. Taking ownership. Not because you understand only break one law or you ain't break none at all. That is not the point. The point is, you know what I mean, you think as an entire nation, we have sinned against the Most High power. You're going before the Lord and say, hey, you understand, we distress, you know what I mean? We bring, you know, we cause this to happen to us because we let one thing slip. We let a couple of things slip, you follow, and let the entire nation now facing the consequence and not upholding the integrity, the standard of the Lord, you know what I mean? That is really set for us to do as Officer Makakobal is really make sure and try to highlight too. And I mean, somebody else, they'll continue to highlight that kind of thing. You see, Command and General are not pushing that, because that is what the I.S.U.P.K does, make sure men, you know, come back to understanding, because you know that is one of the key elements. You know what I mean? Really and truly considering your people. So now you'll hear Captain Tesaria, because you're saying the other day, you know what I mean? Like things like when you hear him talk, because he's trying to get that as a culture in the people. You want to understand that, hey, we do this, you understand? We are at fault for this. It's our responsibility to take back ownership, admit, you know what I mean, that we as our entire nation, this is what going on with us. We sin, you know what I mean, and feel that burden. Take the share with your brother. You understand? Long suffer wrongfully, but at the same time, think about the entire people, not yourself. You understand? Forget that. And every time you see that a nation trying to help you or trying to pull you away from that, from you taking on ownership of your people, and them, there's a psychological tool that they're trying to use to destroy you. Because now you take away the compassion you're supposed to have, the togetherness, the kind of camaraderie, as they said, and the chemistry of you and the people in them walking in the same vein, in the same mind state. Because once they get you to think, okay, I good and my business fixed and all of that, then you're not concerned with yourself, people and them. That is what going on with Michael Jordan and them, with Oprah Winfrey, Charles Barkley, all of them that trying to, you know, push aside the important elements, the weightier matters of the Lord in. Right, and go about their own business and their own righteousness, and they will do something to feel justified in their works, and you don't want to get into that trap. That is Satan. You understand? That is Satan works real good, because he know once he gets you to stop care, or more and more, well, stop care about one thing, more and more, it just go down into a worse state, and then you recognize and you talking like, you know, them over there. That's why you hear the Christians and them, we smash on Christians for that, because of the selfishness that they taught them in the churches and them, you know what I mean? And to also to beat the victim over the head. These, our people, you understand, these circumstances they see our people in, right, is a result of our entire nation sinning against the Lord. Is us, you know what I mean? Seeing them, the wrath of the Lord. And now what are people that have no conscience, that have no godliness, like Officer Barrett does like to bring out the heathen nations, right? Which is ungodly nations, are people that don't have that type of that type of what you call it? Of a real moral standard. They say, well, they have a limit. Because once they think that they what you call it? They at least feeding you, then they can rape you, then they can molest you. Once they feed in you, they can put you in cages. Once they feed in you, they can put you in the prison house. Once they feed in you, they can murder you on the street. Right? Because look at giving you welfare, you know, look at giving you a check, look at hiring you. You know what I mean? Look at paying you minimum wage. So what's your problem? You can't operate like that. That is not the spirit of a caring society. You don't treat people you love or care about in that manner. That is why it's so easy for them to gun you down in the street. But when they have the terrorists on them that will be shooting on the schools, then you find, you know, they're trying to treat them with care. That is how hypocritical it is, because we are at war, and that is what's going on with the people that don't have that moral, you know, like a moral compass, then a proper way to look at things. They justify in what they're saying. That is Satan. That is Satan. They want to get you to think inhumane, That is what going to happen, man. That is the trap you don't want to fall into. So you see the mind state of Nehemiah, that is why we're coming back to the mind of a priest, because they just set the standard for the entire nation as to what the Lord requires, what the Lord wants, what he delights in, what he loves. Yeah? All right, come on. All right, we don't want to get a chance.
Verse 7. We have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the judgments which thou commandest thy servant Moses. Verse 8. Remember, I beseech thee, the word that thou commandest thy servant Moses, saying, if ye transgress, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. Verse 9. But if ye turn unto me, and keep my commandments, and do them, though they were of you cast out unto the uttermost part of the heaven, yet will I gather them from hence, and will bring them unto the place that I have chosen to set my name there. Verse 10. Now these are thy servants, and thy people, whom thou hast redeemed by thy great power and by thy strong hand. O Most High, I beseech thee, let now thine ear be attentive to the prayer of thy servant, and to the prayer of thy servants, who desire to fear thy name and prosper, I pray thee, thy servant this day, and grant him mercy in the sight of this man. For I was the king's cupbearer.
Was right there. You see the humility that Nehemiah coming in. You are a man that have great, you understand, great influence and great power on the face of the earth in a carnal aspect. But he had his mind totally fixed and in absolute respect and reverence to the Most High power. He knew, you follow, that he must, you understand, please the Most High. He must be appealing, you know, appealing in his sight and in the right mind frame to come before the Most High. And he knows, ought to have the whole amount of faith and trust and hope in the Most High, and not as in being the cupbearer, you understand, in this wicked kingdom. And that is what our people need more than anything else right now. That is what the Most High can look down from there and respect and honor it and answer the prayer of his servants in there. Because that is what he wanted to understand. All this cutting and all this slavery and all this low wages and all this murdering and all the atrocities that we face in here was never supposed to get to that state. We were supposed to have a conscience and be willing to admit we faults before the Most High power. And then you can see, like a good father, now I understand, you learn this lesson here now, which is critical, and I don't want you to let go of it at all. You know what I mean? So that is the things that Nehemiah make sure that he put before the Most High. That is why it's written there in records. So us now today could get a proper example of the mindset of a man of the Most High. That is where you want to be. You understand? Like the pinnacle is a priest. Because now he's saying priests and kings. Why the scripture didn't say kings and priests? You know what I mean? The priests, because that is the duty you want to have. And remember, at one time, it only had one tribe, which is the tribe of Levi, which is responsible for the priesthood. But now when they put it now, right, and the level of brotherhood now step up to where everybody taking responsibility now, you know what I mean, of carrying out the duty and upholding they call it the mind state or the what do you call it? Oh gosh, the brotherhood, you know what I mean? Like you want to infiltrate the entire nation. So everywhere you look, everywhere you think, everywhere we talk, when we reasoning it there as a priest, you know what I mean? So that now giving the Most High the kind of grounds he looking for to really operate and bring the nation to a standard of perfection and more perfection, you know what I mean? More glory and more grace, more strength, because that is what he wants the strength to be in. Not in power, you understand? Not in rulership and all these different things. You want it to be in responsibility. So when you're responsible now, then you can really carry on the duties, because you're looking at it at the proper way of how things have to be done, how things to be accomplished, how goals is to be set, how prayers is to be prayed, you know what I mean? And how the children is to learn coming up, so that they could always have a generation coming on, you know what I mean? That can hold on to this. Yeah, as you're saying, you know, that is what you're saying, like from the time they get up and the way they sit down. It's not like you sit, you have your child, as soon as they get up, you put them sit down in a corner and then you're beating this into their head. It's not that. You want to see a practical example, you know what I mean, and fluid. That is why our culture is so different. You know, it's different style, different way of operation, because you don't want you thinking like a robot. You really wanted to catch the flavor, and so it's a spirit. catch the spirit of the Most High, then you do everything, you know what I mean? In terms of that type of dynamic, so it flowing, it really come as one, you know what I mean? As your backhand. Now that's who you is, as opposed to what you do, right? What you do is supposed to be because of who you are. Now, once you become a priest now, and the mindset of a priest, then you begin to function exactly as the Most High say you have to do, all right? Same thing with the sisters, because that's what they go learn to, because that's who they looking to. Like all them daughters, you know what I mean? The brothers and not see that have daughters, what is going on with the daughters, and they always hear that also everywhere you look, that daughters is always attached to the father, because they're looking for the proper example of how, you know what I mean, how the whole thing is run. Because the father knows the strong man, the scripture says, he's the man that's setting the tone. Right? That's why you need to have the mind of a priest. Yeah, so don't watch it as some stiff now, you know what I mean? Like some kind of churchy thing. That is not what it is. The Lord really wanted to be free, but free with a proper conduct, then a proper discipline about yourself, a proper mind state of being conscious of your surroundings and ways and all of that. That's what Nehemiah had. You know what I mean? All right, reading on from chapter 2 and verse 1, Babakisha.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 2 and verse 1. And it came to pass in the month of Nisan, in the 20th year of Artaxerxes the king, that wine was before him. And I took up the wine and gave it unto the king. No, I had not been before time sad in his presence. Wherefore the king said unto me, why is thy countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of heart. That I was very sore afraid. Verse 3. And said unto the king, let the king live forever. Why should not my countenance be sad, when the city, the place of my father's sepulchres, lieth waste, and the gates thereof were consumed with fire? Then the king said unto me, for what dost thou make requests? So I prayed to the most high power of heaven, and I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if thy servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldest send me unto Judah, unto the city of my father's sepulchres, that I may build it.
What's right here? Now this brother, you see how wise this brother is, you see how in tune with the Most High power he is. You follow to be able to, in the split second, because you can't, when you're watching the scripture, you can't think like, you know what I mean, he's going in a corner to go and pray. You know what I mean? It's right in the mindset, because you understand the workings and how he's supposed to operate. Right? That he really take after his forefather one time. Abraham in the mind, Jacob in the mind, how they would flex, how you're supposed to operate in captivity under a king. You know what I mean? And having the proper etiquette then to be able to display and how to speak with wisdom, how to speak with grace on your tongue. So now the man had no choice but to respect him, because this man never and once, he is a captor. They follow in a high state. You know what kind of frustration, that kind of discipline you have to have. You know what I mean? Just to conduct yourself all the time, and that kind of mindset. Being, you follow? And I can make a truth. I said, you understand? Your reputation was up there. You have to be able to go ahead and the king now to say, okay, this man has never been sad in my countenance. You follow, and serve me with joy. You understand? Just serve me with what you call it? With did a good spirit then. Right? He always do that. So now when you recognize, you say, okay, I can really grant him now, or something that I want, I consider him then. It come like a even though you follow is a servant in this man's kingdom. Now I can really say, okay, bam, because this man served me so well, I need to actually grant him. It will seem unjust of me then, in my spirit then, right? And that's the Lord working on people too. That is an next key element you want to remember too. When, as they say, you know what I mean, when your ways please the Lord, He may even your enemies to be at peace with you, right? And that is a whole different level here that Nehemiah dealing with as well, right? So you hear that now, so the king say, okay, what is your request? Because I definitely want to see a countenance change. I want to see, you know, I mean, the same spirit that I enjoy all the time. Right? Like a king in a palace, and you know everything running as it's supposed to, smooth and nice. You want nothing in the kingdom to shake, especially this flavor we bring as an Israelite. Right? So he's saying now, you know what I mean? What's going on here now? And here, how you Nehemiah talking here now? He's saying, why should I, you know what I mean? Like, how can I be comfortable in seeing that, you know, the land of my foreparents and the nice honor that a man have as well. You know, yeah, about the nation. So you're seeing that type of thing in you know, that true love and commitment to your people. Because you know, if you're doing that for your people and them, you know, especially seeing how well they serve me here, you go do right by my side, and that's I can really appreciate. That is the kind of thing we just bring as a nation. Anywhere we go, that is why they love us so much for all the entertainment and all the sports and all that. But you really want to focus back in terms of having loyalty then to your people and having honor towards your people and them. And really caring about your people much more than anything else. But because you're doing that, you would serve wherever it is and focus and get as much done properly as you could. Just to exemplify how great the Most High is among our nation, right? Even as a captain. All right. Also, right, verse 6, Baba Kusha.
Book of Nehemiah chapter 2 and verse 6. And the king said unto me, the queen also sitting by him, for how long shall thy journey be? And when wilt thou return? So it pleased the king to send me, and I set him a time. Moreover, I said unto the king, if it please the king, let the letters be given me to the governors beyond the river, that it may convey me over till I come unto Judah. And a letter unto Asaph, the keeper of the king's forest, that he may give me timber to make beams for the gates of the palace, which appertain to the house, and for the wall of the city, and for the house that I shall enter into. And the king granted me according to the good hand of my power upon me.
Boom. Right? So you know what I mean? That is the kind of favor the Most High grant him, because this man is an orderly man in so much that he knows exactly what to ask for. He understands the system. Right? So when he going about it, because of his mind state and the wisdom that the Lord gave to our brothers and them, and how they apply themselves with it too, he now known that, okay, up to this point here, I'm foreseeing, because I'm looking at terms of what it is we need to build. You follow? So I know, okay, I need this a certain amount of timber, plus I must get permission going up the line. So everything in paper, on record, you understand? So when it's going down, you can see order, you can see everything done rightly, so it wouldn't prevent him from accomplishing the task that he must accomplish them. That is how important and how critical it is to zone into the actual mind of a priest. The mind of a priest is not, you know what I mean, serving in the temple and you're humming all day, and you know, you're just moving around with incense and you're just teaching out our Bible. It's not that. It's the ability to really zone into everything that your people would need and then utilize the men and the resources around you in order to be able to achieve the goal that must be accomplished. So we can rebuild back from any state. It's just understanding what the Lord set in his wisdom for our foreparents and them, and what we must do today.
Right.
As they see command in General YAHANNA and them doing. This is the only place on the earth that really actually would understand exactly how that is done according to what the Lord wants. There's a lot of people doing good things on the side and having the charity and doing this and trying to buy a plan here and all these different things, which is a good thing. They should want to do that, because that is the next part of brotherhood and nationhood. They're thinking on a level that they need to also see our priest now, our brother who come in here and learn and get trained up and get the right spirit, that he could connect with these people and then have things functioning, because they already have the mindset of where they should post or where they should be going next, or what they should be looking towards, especially in a place where we are at war. Because a lot of people don't even understand the dynamics of this war and the strategy and all the different systems that are in place to keep us down, other people are not to really at least live, much less prosper. Yeah?
Done.
For real. All right. Verse 9, I think it is?
Yeah, come on.
Sure.
Verse 9. Then I came to the governors beyond the river and gave them the king's letters. Now the king had set captains of the army and horsemen with me. When Sanballat, the Horonite, and Tobiah, the servant, the Ammonite, heard of it, it grieved them exceedingly that there was come a man to seek the welfare of the children of Israel.
You understand? Look how dread it is. So as soon as the heathen see you looking to do something good for your people and them, they get grieved, and you'll see the trickery they're playing later down. The kind of trap they try to set up for Nehemiah. This is what you have to look out for. This is the danger points to them that you must be equipped to really deal with.
Right.
Because Nehemiah, now you'll see how skillfully he was able to utilize the wisdom of the Most High the resources around him, and then understanding. Remember, he have letters on all these different things coming up. So he covered in terms of any trickery that they will try. So all of these things that is coming handy, as the scriptures say, anything you're doing in writing. So now you cover many bases that you might even be able to see at the beginning. And as we caught in the end, because the Lord now in his wisdom, the set of things that you wouldn't be able to understand at the beginning sometime. But later on, you see how useful it is later on. That is why you have to understand the mind of a priest and what is required of you. All right, this is what we say here in the video. You'll see in the beginning that don't try this at home. These men are trained professionals because it's a standard that you have to raise to be able to be really effective in delivering what the Lord wants, to accomplish on the earth. All right. So you see us here is not a power trip. Or it's not some kind of boast that we have. It's an understanding of responsibility that you must grasp, that you must continue to grow upon to be able to really and truly have that effect that the Lord looking for to raise a nation. That is the things that must be done. Other than that, you would always bounce up and see problem here, problem there, because you're leaning on your own understanding because nobody instruct you in terms of what the Lord really required. So without that now, your efforts, obviously, you understand, wouldn't come to the state it should be, and to really be effective and be less of a headache because you're not amongst the entire nation on the same mind. Right. So that is what we had to come to. All right? Come on. All right. Yes, sir. The wall again.
All right, read up.
Yes, sir.
Verse 11. So I came to Jerusalem and was there 3 days, and I arose in the night, and some few men with me. Neither told I any man what the Most High had put in my heart to do at Jerusalem. Neither was there any beast with me, save the beast that I rode upon. And I went out by night by the gate of the valley, even before the dragon well, and to Salakia, and to the dung port, and viewed the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and the gates thereof were consumed with fire. Verse 14. Then I went on to the gate of the fountain, and to the king's pool, but there was no place for the beast that was under me to pass. Then I went up in the night by the brook, and viewed the wall, and turned back, and entered by the gate of the valley. So I returned. And the rulers knew not whether I went or what I did. Neither had I as yet told it to the Jews, nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest that did the work.
Pause right there, right? Now in his foresight and understanding the games and a lot of wickedness that can happen, Nehemiah had the right mindset in terms of doing things. What you see there is what you call covert operations, right? Because he went by night, he take one beast, so you didn't see the noise, right? So he do it under the night sky, under the weather. He tell nobody nothing. But he just he gonna make sure and do it because he understand the purpose of what's going on. When he go and see what's going on for himself, he knocks nobody, so nobody can set him up. Remember, he's a man now, go on all this mission here now, and he's gonna meet with certain men. So he don't know who Satan get into.
Right.
You know what I mean? Who get bribe, you know what I mean? Who think and who looking for a different, avenue, who don't understand certain things, and then they will move out of this burden. So now he really actually take his time and now go about and see, okay, do what you call a recon, right? And go and scan the zone then. Look at the zone and look at the certain points. Then you see, he bounce up a point, he couldn't get there. He didn't give up. So you're looking at the understand, well, where's the avenue I can turn into? Where is the next, the next route I can take to be able to achieve what it is you're looking for? And that is the mindset you want to have as well. You always want to, look for the best approach now. So you have to go the distance and really build, that type of I would say discipline is more of a willingness than to go the extra mile. That's what I'm looking for. Right. So you have to go the extra mile to go and see, and do a proper scan of things so that you understand the ground we are to work on, and then from there, either they get counsel accordingly or you operate according to the wisdom of the scriptures and we tell you that you have to do. Right? So now, yeah, for sure, but you have to understand what's going on. And you see an example here, Nehemiah doing it as well. All right? It's an important person. Then he looking at going now, and then he would say, okay, going on, and because he's responsible for the entire thing. That's the next thing too. As a leader, and the responsibility put on you now. You can't move, you can't move while at all. You have to be able to know okay, what I could say, you know what I mean? When I can't say it, and all these things you would learn because the scriptures have it in it, when to say it, how to say it, who among, you know, when you're among people, how to say things. That's how Nehemiah could speak in such a manner. And I mean, and talk to the they call it the rulers of the city. Make a request to the king, right? Talk to the men at the gate, talk to the Jews, talk to whoever it is he dealing with, because now you understand the circumference and how you have to operate within these confines, right?
All
right, come on, read on the book. All right.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 2 and verse 17.
Right.
Then I said unto them, ye see the distress that were Salakia. Ye see the distress that we are in, how Jerusalem lieth in waste, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. Come and let us build up the wall of Jerusalem, that we be no more a reproach.
Right.
Verse 18. Then I told them of the hand of my power, which was good upon me, as also the king's words that he had spoken unto me. And they said, let us rise up and build. So they strengthened their hands for this good work.
Right, so we're going with them now. You see how Nehemiah inspiring the men now in the proper time,
right,
proper place. If all and showing them all that the Lord did with them to understand that the Lord with this, the Lord with me on this. If all look at what the Lord was able to do, and that is the next important aspect for our leader now, to really give honor and glory to the Most High Power. It eliminates a lot of confusion. What you would find outside of the I.S.U.P.K and a lot of places in the world, why things don't go as it should, because a lot of men seeking their own, as opposed to seeking the benefit of the nation,
right,
and giving the glory unto the Most High, so he can really, you know what I mean, bring the mind state of the people in them to where it need to be, so that they'll be functioning without, you understand, without any backbiting and all of this garbage, and you know what I mean, and all the pull and tug that unnecessary, it's counterproductive for the growth of our nation.
Right.
You understand? So this is very important for us to understand again, for the mind of our priests. Seeing the records of your forefather Nehemiah right here. All right. All right, go ahead, read on, you get a chance.
All right, verse 19. But when Sanballat, the Horonite, and Tobiah, the servant, the Ammonite, and Geshem, and Araban, heard it, they laughed us to scorn, and despised us, and said, what is the thing that ye do? Will ye rebel against the king?
Right, so you see how trappy it is? Now in the laughter now, you see the end of the part is what really and truly in the mind. Right, because what they're trying to do is trap Nehemiah. In other words, they started to laugh at Nehemiah now to try and get the people a shift off of the trust in the Most High Power.
Right.
That is why it's important. You see what he goes say, look how perfect it pieces together. Nehemiah said, he went and do this guy. At later on, when you go and talk to the Jews and them and talk to the brothers, in other words, to inspire them, who it is really and truly is the power behind this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you can see it because even the king, you understand, good favor unto Nehemiah as well.
That's
so
right.
you're in the most capable hands that you're in. And this is really important for people to trust, you understand, the leadership now, so they can really function as they're supposed to. And that's what your job is as a priest now, to also, you understand, reassure the men because of how you operate, how you think. You know what I mean? How you take on the learning that you're supposed to get.
Right.
Your people, and there's a responsibility that you have to hone into and continue to work on so that you get better at it. You know what I mean? And then the people, of course, they would see it. So now the heathen and them now with the nasty mind, he was gonna try to do now, you know. So they're laughing, you know, because they're big. These men and them is men known, right? So Sanballat and this one and all the Arabian and all of them, right? They know now if they could get the children of Israel could only drop, you understand? The confidence in the Most High Power, because they know our records, right? They know that the Lord will defend us.
Right.
They know, you understand, if we sin, if we follow or move out of place or out of timing, they know the Lord wouldn't back it. You follow? Right. So so men need, you follow, to try and shift you off of that now. That is where to watch with the heathen and them. Understand they have no good term for you. So at all angles, you have to be watching and be mindful of how they operate. And the only way you can do that is go in the place where you get the instruction how to combat it the right way. You follow, and this is what the I.S.U.P.K provides. The defense mechanism and the brotherhood, which is the pinnacle of how we operate.
That's right.
To be understand for people to survive. You follow how they're supposed to serve the Most High Power, how they're supposed to prosper, how we'll get the entire kingdom and rulership of the earth again. But that must be a key, not the principal thing then that you build the foundation on. Once you build it on that, anything else you follow, nothing else you follow could hamper that. Nothing else could shift you off of that because you done built on the right or the only thing that does sustain a society. But right? Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
go ahead.
You're not just saying that as a real, you know what I mean? Real everything is saying it one, it's not the script you're showing it. Nehemiah trying to rebuild.
Yes.
It seems spirited training the I.S.U.P.K. You know what I mean? Since 1969 till coming in General YAHANNA.
That's right.
Trying to rebuild the nation.
Correct.
And at the same day, you know, everybody trying to laugh them to
Correct.
scorn.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Saying, oh, we
correct.
against America.
Right.
So I like the
all right.
Christ,
yeah, you see what this, sir?
Yeah,
that is key component because really and truly, that officer Makakobal saying that is what Commandant General YAHANNA and these brothers facing for so long that nobody believed that he was at Jerusalem then could build that. The children of Israel could come back to the stature. You know what I mean? To love the Lord and really and truly magnify the Most High Power works and who He is among it. That real critical. And once you get back your confidence in the Lord, that is the day. America will fall. America will fall, and this is the last time that will ever be at the hands of cruel beasts.
That's right.
Yeah.
That one cancer.
For real. I feel like I can lock up the class there again. I think, yeah, good through, yeah, but.
All right, verse 20.
Yes, sir.
Then answered I them and said unto them, the Most High Power of heaven, He will prosper us. Therefore, we, His servants, will arise and build, but ye have no portion, nor right, nor memorial in Jerusalem.
Right, so you see, that's the next key element of our leader now. Be totally dependent on the Most High Power till you're fearless.
That's right.
Till nothing and nothing standing in your way. And that is because you are your trust and hope in the Most High Power, nothing else. That is the only thing that's going to give you confidence to stand against missiles. Russia, America, China, whoever it is, they can have 1,020,000,000 missiles, you understand? You ain't fear nothing. Because you know who's the man in charge of everything. When you really and truly understand that, that's going to make you follow operate with a different type of focus itself. Because now your focus or you're not being shift off your square, I should say. Because now you can really go and take all the ground that you want to take. Because you know who backing. All right? All right. All right, Jerry. Nehemiah chapter 3 and verse 1, Bible question.
The book of Nehemiah chapter 3 and verse 1. Then Salakia, then Eliashib, Tawada. Then Eliashib, the high priest, rose up with his brethren, the priests, and they builded the sheep gate. They sanctified it and set up the doors of it, even unto the tower of Mia. They sanctified it unto the tower of Hanayel. And next unto him builded the men of Jericho. And next to them builded Zakar, the son of Imrai. But the fish gate did the sons of Hassanah, build, who also laid the beams thereof, and set up the doors thereof, the locks thereof, and the bars thereof. Verse 4. And next unto them repaired Merimoth, the son of Urijah, the son of Koz. And next unto them repaired Meshullam, the son of Berechiah, the son of Mashizabel. And next unto them repaired Zadok, the son of Banah. And next unto them the Tikkotes repaired. But their nobles put not their necks to the work of their power.
Right, so you see, it is a key element here, but I'm going to touch how inspired these men build. You see how everybody come like an order, you know, or as soon as Nehemiah declared that, everybody just stand up and get different strength in them. You know, you follow? So now they're empowered by the Most High Power. That is the zeal that is enable us to do things that humans can't do, the average man can't do. Right? That is the power that they get in them because that is the confidence the Lord has given.
Right.
That is the power that you're rocking with. You follow? So now they go ahead and they started go and build this section. Boom, boom, boom. So it come like these men could have run through an actual physical brick wall because of the zeal that on them. You know? You follow? So that is the spirit you want to understand. That is what is enable your hands, you follow, to really be sufficient for you. So the Lord can really build and do amazing things through you. That is why we have that ability to do all kind of different madness on the earth. I can say madness, but glorious things then. Right. Invention here, this here, you follow this here. And thinking about it, there's 8 men that commanded Jeremiah, you know what I mean? And that time when he came in, right? That's 30-something years ago, 35 years, 8 men, this thing started and thousands of men. Right. You follow, build with the right spirit all over the world. You follow? A lot of cities in America, Jamaica, Trinidad, UK, right. And there's one or 2 men out in and some in Europe there, right? And people who looking online and people who coming up strong daily by the grace and mercy of the Most High power. That is what the Lord can do, you know what I mean? He just wants your confidence in him so that you can shake off, you can shut off all the weaknesses that you learn in this world. Right. If all the things are designed to keep you separated from the ability to really be the children of Israel, the sons of the Most High power. That is what he wants to call us back to really represent them. If all don't have that in you, have that so make all it so evident everywhere you go, so that you now can really be the salt of the earth, right? Which we are. But it's just we're not operating with full strength because we detached from the ability to do it. Right. Yeah? Yes, sir. Go through one here.
Verse 6. Moreover.
Oh, Salakia. Right. Salakia. An important part. Right. Before I move on, Nehemiah, see when he did the recording, he didn't say anything to these men. Look how going with the nobles now. Right. Nobles of the city. These are the men that they're politicians today because they're taking bribe. They didn't put their hand to the work of the Lord. You know why? Because they don't want to go against Sanballat and these men who give in the pockets, lining the pockets, and causing all the corruption and all of that. Just as they see today, nothing new under the sun. The same thing with your politicians, same thing with your pastors, and the nobles is the so-called men in high regard in society. You follow? The same way they operate, the same thing they do here today. Right. That is what you want to look out for. That is why Nehemiah and his wisdom can say that. Because if they was operating as they're supposed to, there'd be a difference in the society. So all of that you have to learn how to be wise and as wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove around these men and them. That's what you're learning here in the UPK. A critical component. Yes, sir. Right.
Book of Nehemiah, chapter 3 and verse 6. Moreover, the old gate repaired Jehoiada, the son of Paseah, and Meshullam, the son of Bisiudiah. They laid the beams thereof, and set up the doors thereof, and the locks thereof, and the bars thereof. And next unto them repaired Melatiah, Salakia, and Gibeonite, and Jadon, the Meronothite, the men of Gibeon, and of Mizpah, unto the throne of the governor on this side of the river. Next unto him repaired Uzziel, the son of Ahiah, the son Ahiah of the goldsmiths. Next unto him also repaired Hananiah, the son of one of the apothecaries, and they fortified Jerusalem unto the border.
Right, so you see, yeah, I ain't about to set to what I get to you, you know what I mean? Because look at what it is they're doing now. It's sections, the important parts that they're talking about here, and this is what they're doing, strategically building up the important, like the apothecaries. If I'm mistaken, it's like the medicine and them kind of, you know what I mean? So people are that necessary to build certain parts of it, you know, they're doing that in stages, strategically going with what is priority on the list, then going up. You know, fixing this, the goldsmiths and them, you know. So all of that you have to learn, and this is an important part of our nation, because now, seeing when you're at war especially, now you would really actually understand, or you'll have to do the same thing and prioritize what you would work on, right? And that's where it'll take structure and discipline and guidance from experienced men so that they can now carry down the lines of where it is you're going to need to, you know, do this here, do that there, you follow, work on this here, right? As the generals that you see here, they are the pinnacle of the I.S.U.P.K. You follow? And that's what the Lord has built up, so that you have men now can really structure things and go ahead, and then you'll have wise men coming down. You might see men, officers of 50 coming here, and they have a certain experience from in the world that they bring into the table, you know what I mean? A lot of understanding. Officers of 500, you know what I mean? That would be very proficient in certain things and would understand a lot and be able to grasp, and they need all these things and to appreciate all these things working together, because it's the work of the Lord coming together so that they can really get things accomplished as it's supposed to. And that is what our entire nation, or thinking as a nation, would do for you. You understand? Really and truly help a nation move faster and advance in the things that need to be done, right? So that we could now move on faster to the approach of Christ. So all these different things that plague in the cities, like, you know what I mean, like a lot of homelessness and joblessness and drugs and all these different things could be well fixed, but they need to take the time, you know what I mean, to really learn and get the proper instructions so that these things can be fixed, right? And then strategically, again, that's what they see Nehemiah and them doing. As they say, forefathers and them doing is the same spirit that he wants us to understand, and especially in this last time here. All right, so it's critical that they come in and they put your hand to the right effort. You know what I mean? So that now all the efforts of what you plan to do, it can really come to fruition, because you have a lot of people. You have thousands of brothers and sisters on the same mind, working towards the same goal. You know what I mean? And especially with the same love, and they'll teach you that same thing so that you can teach to your children, you can teach to your neighborhood. You know what I mean? The people that you love, or you know what I mean, that you already consider. This is what you will do. You bring the same thing to them and draw them right here so that they could work again. You know what I mean? However it is, some people, you know what I mean, they might never come in here, but in terms of what it is that you could get them to understand and function in, man, they achieve a lot.
Right.
Like that's what the Lord looking for. He just wants, you understand, the work to be done in the right spirit. Yeah. Can you read only get chance, right?
Can. The book of Nehemiah chapter 3 and verse 9. And next unto them repaired Raphael the son of Hur, the ruler of the half part of Jerusalem. And next unto them repaired Jediah, the son of Haramath, even over against his house. And next unto him repaired Hattush, the son of Hashabniah. Verse 11. Malchijah, the son of Harim, and Hashab, the son of Pahathamoah, repaired the other piece and the tower of the furnaces. And next unto him repaired Shalom, the son of Halohesh, the ruler of the half part of Jerusalem, he and his daughters. Verse 13, the valley gate. Verse 13, the valley gate repaired Hanan and the inhabitants of Zonoah. They built it and set up the doors thereof, the locks thereof, and the bars thereof, and 1,000 cubits on the wall unto the dung gate. Verse 14, but the dung gate repaired Malchiah, the son of Rechab, the ruler of part of Bat Haxirem. He built it and set up the doors thereof, the locks thereof, and the bars thereof. But the gate of the fountain repaired Shalom, the son of Kolhizeh, the ruler of part of Mizpah. He built it and covered it and set up the doors thereof, the locks thereof, and the bars thereof, and the walls of the pool of Siloah by the king's garden, and unto the stairs that go down from the city of David.
Right, pause right there, you see? So all of the places, and they strategically, you see, they continue to build, coming up to the part, even unto close to where the king is, you know what I mean, coming up there, so they know. Look at that, they build from that, coming up. Before the walls of Jerusalem, coming down here, boom, 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 and then strategically, almost to the part where the king is. Right, unto where David is. So you would see how they making sure and gracefully do things.
Right.
That's the next part in terms of your operation. You can't be wide and scatter because it's the children Israel. Big and bad, you follow. You're operating that way. You can't seemingly be a threat to another nation. You follow under their relationships. You have to learn these things. So now you follow. You have the proper approach in building back a city, rebuilding. You know what I mean? The entire nation and all the things that we had to do. That is the example the senior and your forefathers and them the operations. Yeah, for real. All right.
So like I said,
I in the bar.
Yeah, even as you saying that and all too, and even in all the scriptures, you've always seen, you know, in every scripture the brotherhood.
Yes.
Even as in the records, you know, bringing out the men, showing the men and the work that they're doing under Nehemiah.
Correct.
Which is a glorious thing to see.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Bringing to note.
Correct.
You know, all the different effort that the brothers put in play to help build.
Correct.
You know what I mean? For the nation of Israel.
Correct.
You know, I know if you want to expand on that.
So what again, I appreciate that because that is a critical point because now that inspires men today to see exactly what's supposed to be done.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because when you know putting these men honorable mention, you follow, not only are the men also going to have a good, you understand, reputation and a good mind towards doing it. Right? These men are sure in him thinking about that. So that is not the key point, but the ruler now must be responsible in doing that and highlighting the works of the men. Continue, you know what I mean, to say good job, things like that. You think the thing General Mine was talking about the other day. He doesn't have to tell the man, you know what I mean, to water, but he inspiring good man, it's inspiring a good spirit among your people and them. It's a critical part because that is what you want to solidify a nation. That is what is laid as a template in terms of what you want to build a nation based on. So all the younger men and sisters them coming up, you know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. Like I said, that's it, you know what I mean? So all the young men and them coming up that they read and they would see this is how we just operate as a nation. You understand? With grace, you know what I mean? Thankful, appreciative, lifting up, you understand? As the scriptures say, exalting another man better than yourself. You follow? Because you're always considering the nation. You want the nation in a good spirit and a good mind state before the Most High Power. So that is what the Lord is saying. That is what Psalms 133 talking about. That's right. But like, you want that, Jim? Understand? Eric, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to join together in unity. Right. You understand? That is the thing that really inspire nation to be the greatest nation on the face of the planet. So all these things are not to be taken lightly. See, over some pull out that day, understand? That is a critical part that, you know what I mean, that we have to pay attention to other people. And sometimes in the hustle and bustle, you know what I mean, we fall short of these things, but these things as a critical part that must be in you as well. This is what you're supposed to do. It's not something that is optional. It's what you're supposed to do. That is what it's written in your records here. Everything. And as long as Romans 15 and 4, all things are written aforetime for your learnings, that through patience and comfort in the scriptures you might have hope. This is what giving you hope because you understand the spirit of how we operate. So you know it ain't no upside down, and then nothing that can't come to pass because our forefathers accomplished these things in the spirit of the Most High. Yeah?
So that's the Adam and we're saying and we bring back a sense of correction to make sure that the nation really stand as a nation.
Correct, damn right, that's right. Correct, damn right. We share that to water. Damn right. All right. For sure. Right. Yes, sir. All right. So we'll jump to we can jump to chapter 4, Baba Kusha. Right? Yeah, going into the same essence, but on your own time, you want to read it, you know what I mean, and soak it in. Really, and to put yourself in the position. They say that, I mean, that you're building the nation, and whichever pathway, right, you want to see like as a ruler. Sometimes now you're thinking now as a father, or if you're as a mother, whoever he is, you understand, you're watching it now and think about how it is operate within your children and home, how it is operate within your workplace, you know what I mean, and these different things now. So you want to see, okay, how it is really think, how it is operate sometimes. Is this what I'm doing? Is this what it is I should be doing? Right? So now you're putting yourself in the same position. So now you're bringing it real. You follow and more, you know what I mean, lively in terms of now changing my approach to things. Yes, so this is going to inspire brotherhood and sisterhood within the nation. And now what better place to apply it but in here. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. Good tune. Slacky, you're saying something?
No.
All right, what again? What I appreciate it, man. I don't know. Straight. All right. Don't know. I'm right. Appreciate it. All right. So the critical components again, you want to go through it and see right? In terms of what is my mind state as a parent over the house, you know what I mean? As a husband, whoever it is, an uncle, brother, whatever it is, you want to put yourself in that position now and see going down the line, like the cupboard to build, the ways to wash, whatever, the yard to clean, and all of that. But you see how they're working together and they're accomplishing the task in them, right? So now you want to try and bring in that same spirit, that same atmosphere, you know what I mean, right here. So let the words come out of the Bible and then apply it to you because it's your reports.
Right.
It belongs to you, and that's the things that we have to do as a nation. You know what I mean? To really build back that strength, all right? Very to all again. All right? Nehemiah chapter 4 and verse 1, Babakisha, when you get a chance.
Nehemiah chapter 4 and verse 1. But it came to pass that when Sanballat heard that the builded the wall, he was wroth and took great indignation and mocked the Jews.
Pause again. So you see what's going on with these heathens and them? You see what's going on in their mind? Right? They're always trying to degrade the children of Israel. You know what I mean? When the Lord say, "We is the greatest thing on the face of the earth," and they would know our records, as we was talking about before. They would have an idea, you know. So every opportunity they get to try and put a spoke in our wheel, so that we wouldn't rise as a people. We wouldn't have that, you know what I mean? That type of confidence in the Most High, they will try to do it. They see him up them again, because remember, again, he have power, right? We was talking about that a little bit earlier. So he have power on the seat, you know what I mean? So now doing that now, he going and put a stigma. Like, you all can do this. Because all the time, look at what going on, if you're suffering and all these different things, that's why it's important now for a leader now to reinforce that in your people. Always, you know what I mean? Put that put the dignity of your people in them at the forefront all the time, so that now they'll always have confidence to do the right thing by the Most High. And plus, they will push beyond the measure. You must have an ability or the spirit to go the extra mile. Now, when you go the extra mile, you set a different tone that we could always conquer anything. By the grace and mercy of the Most High power, the strength of the Most High power, and the spirit that Christ, you can accomplish anything on the face of the planet. Right? No matter how small, right? No matter how big, is whatever capacity that the Lord gave you want to tap into that. When they tap into that now, everybody, you hear them talking about goldsmiths, you understand, about to carry different whatever spirit, you know what I mean, or whatever ability the Lord gave you. I mean, you want to go into that and suck it, you understand? Everything they can get out of that, so that now you can be a master of that. You can have other traits, you know, you can have other things that you can do, but in terms of what you master, what the Lord give you them, you know what I mean, to do it all you might, to go into that thing and run it through. Because you know the Lord backing you. You know the Lord, you understand how you back. You know you're strong with it, you follow? So for sure. Yeah. And then it is set that entire wave, it's like the whole, like they just put gas in the sun and just drop a match on there, everybody light up. You know what I mean? That's what the Lord looking for. Alright? You done, Baba Kisha, when you get a chance.
Nehemiah chapter 4 and verse 2. And he spake before his brethren and the army of Samaria, and said, what do these feeble Jews? Will they fortify themselves? Will they sacrifice? Will they make an end in a day? Will they revive the stone out of the heap of rubbish which are burned?
Already, so you see how disrespectful he is? And imagine that you're putting that now to people now who lost everything. They have no conscience. That is the mind of your oppressor. That is the mind of the heathens that surround you. Right? Again, this is war. So in war, there's no fairness and no, you know what I mean? Especially with the people that don't have a conscience. They're well known for not having the ability to care about the children of Israel. See, all of them confederate against us. We have no seat on the UN. They don't care about our communities. They follow. They could sell drugs, guns, put drugs on them for free. Them machine just to make sure we don't stand. So all of that, you want to look at things that are happening around your society, in your workplace. You want to pay attention to all that. So now you're seeing when they're talking now, you can identify what they used to do in the beginning, and all the history that you see coming up. So now you know exactly how wise to walk among them, as you see in the example of your forefather here, and be about the nation. So that now you are time with them. Everything that they're saying, it's coming like water and duck back. It's rolling off because you know you have a mission to go towards. That's Satan's job, to always to try and block you, understand, for making the advance that you need to be making.
Right.
Yeah? Damn right. You follow? So Nehemiah and them and the brothers and them is the same. Then Nehemiah, you know what I mean? That plenty Nehemiah right there. That plenty, you understand? That plenty this brothers right there. Right yourself. And that's what you want to see yourself as. You know what I mean? The proper light that the Lord say that he is. Yeah? Don't know. Read on. Baba Kasha.
Nehemiah chapter 4 verse 3. Now Tobiah the Ammonite was by him, and he said, even that which they built, if a fox go up, he shall even break down their stone wall.
Disrespectful. Read on, Babu Kisha.
Verse 4. Hear, O our Most High, for we despise and turn their reproach upon their own head, and give them for a prey in the land of their captivity.
Go ahead, Babu Kisha.
Verse 5. And cover not their iniquity, and let not their sin be blotted out from before thee. For they have provoked thee to anger before the builders.
You know?
Verse 6. So they built we the wall, and all the wall was joined together unto the half thereof. For the people had a mind to work.
Boom. Boom. Pause right there, Babu Kisha. So they know. All we have to do, you understand, is focus on the Most High power and pray that the Most High avenge us, because we can't physically fight them. If all they know they outnumber, so they're choking and understand, provoking you to try and do something out that time. But you're going and you see the example your forefathers and them, pray and believe, trust the Most High going to deliver you out of that. You follow? Right. And you'll see how fast sometimes things get done. So what going right there, the people that are mind to work, they say, but we don't care about them eating them. That is what our leaders inspire in the people and them. So you're reinforcing that all the time. So now the people are holding on strong. They're pushing through any obstacle because they understand who rules the power that rocking on them. You follow that? Is SHALAM. Go to.
Yeah, and this is what London General YAHANNA have been building.
That's right. Correct.
That same mind.
Correct.
You know,
correct.
The spies that are even under
that's right.
To the destruction.
Damn right. Correct is right. Ah boy, I just say something. You say something real every day too. Eh? You see them I.S.U.P.K curses, or they don't take that for granted at all.
Right.
Them I.S.U.P.K curses that saying, you know, that coming up sometime, if you're feeling, you understand, they call it belittle and all the garbage that you're facing other people. Sometimes, if you're a woman, you have a husband, whatever the case is. You have no husband, you're a widow, whatever the case is, a daughter. You cover your head, you know what I mean? And you pray and ask the Most High to avenge you. Pray them same curses and them, you know what I mean, unto them and watch the Lord work. The Lord might just hit your boss a stroke. You understand? Just to keep your mind at bay, for you to keep your trust and your focus on the Most High power. That you could go back to work. Right. That you could work on, you understand, the most important things that need to be done. The benefit of your people and them. That's what you want to have in your mind state. Yeah? We learn Babu Kisha.
Verse 7. But it came to pass that when Sanballat and Tobiah and the Arabians and the Ammonites and the Ashdudites heard that the wall of Jerusalem were made up, and that the breaches began to be stopped, that then they were very wroth. Verse 8. And conspired all of them together to come and to fight against Jerusalem and to hinder it.
Boom. Pause right there, Babu Kisha. You see how good of them? They start to get desperate now. They say, nah, boy. Because they know if we build back the right way, how we're supposed to go, they know all that so-called power they have, it could come to an end. You follow? That is what these citizens and them know. They know it very well. So you see what the kind of depth that they'll go to. That's what you want to make sure you understand. The danger point we're discussing that earlier on. The danger points in these people and their operations. That's why it's important to rejoin to your nation, to understand that integration is a trap. Integration, you follow, but always never benefit your people. It's always designed to keep you follow, disconnected from your life. You understand, your life source, from the breath that's supposed to be in your lungs. That's what you want to have. The mindset of your people and the what do you call it? You want your people first. You understand? You want you care them, you love. You understand? You respect, your dignity, your loyalty, all your resources going towards your people and them. And that is the integration of this weaken you because you're thinking that you need to survive. You don't need to survive. You follow? Even to a point where you could come to, even if I die, you follow, I die leaving a proper example among the nation that would inspire things that could go on further, like Christ did, like the disciples and them. That's how important it is. Our mind, state and nation. Good, brother. Okay. You're not challenging, but of course, you know, that time come, you know, me and the Lord on the job, some in the spirit to drop in, it is assist. Because these men, them that probably wasn't in my as well. All these things, and that's why we have it in the records, you know, because that nation, the thinking as a nation, so everything the Lord, as they say, in the presence of 2 and 3 he did, because now we can really pour into our mind what we need to do. You understand? What we need to focus on next and all these different things.
Right.
Yeah? Straight. You don't Baba Kasha, and you get chance.
Verse 9. Nevertheless, we made our prayers unto the Most High and set a watch against them day and night because of them. Verse 10. And Judah said, the strength of the bearers of burden is declared, and there is much rubbish, so that we are not able to build the wall.
You done?
Verse 11. And our adversary said, they shall not know, neither see, till we come in the midst among them, and slay them, and cause the work to cease.
You know?
Verse 12. And it came to pass that when the Jews which dwelt by them came, they said unto us 10 times, from all places whence you shall return unto us, they will be upon you.
Go ahead.
Verse 13. Therefore set I in the lower places behind the wall.
Go ahead. Salakia. Go ahead, Salakia. I enjoy this story. Go ahead.
And on the higher places, I even set the people after their families with their sword, their spears, and their bows.
You done?
Verse 14. And I looked and rose up, and I said unto the nobles and the rulers and to the rest of the people, be not you afraid of them. Remember the Lord, which is great and terrible, and fight for your brethren, your sons and your daughters, your wives and your houses.
Go ahead.
Verse 15. And it came to pass when our enemies heard that it was known unto us, and the Most High had brought their counsel to naught, that we return all of us to the wall, even one unto his work.
Pause right there. That is a critical component to understand. See how these brothers was? They wasn't Christian. You can't be in a holy roller and so unaware. This is what integration and this society does teach you to be.
Right.
For that, you don't understand that there are enemies lurking from every side. So what you have to do is be attentive. You have to be on watch. You have to be on guard. If all that is what going on, so even though they still not depressed to the most side, they sitting and watch here, they sitting and watch here, boom, they sitting on people right there. And the man now being a leader, you follow and paying a lot of attention now. You see and you follow waiters that can see a breach here. This is what you have to learn. You have to learn more strategy. That is why you're coming in the UPK here now. You follow to really grasp that so you can really and truly be effective. Right. If that is what the Lord put in your spirit. If you know what I mean, not everybody will be warriors. Not everybody, but wherever it is you find your fit. You follow that is where you have to try and apply yourself to the best of your ability. Right? Because you know you're thinking about a nation that's coming back to power. That is what it is. We are the last leg here. Follow this the crumbs of the society. So we're coming back to trading. You follow so we can come back to being a government. That is what the Lord tried to say here. 144,000 governors, rulers, they follow that will have the mind and Nehemiah and all these brothers that are written in the records here now, so that they properly equip with the right spirit, the right mind state, so that they, even to the last they follow, that is what the Lord could come back and find us so doing. Like what you see, that is what you're coming back for. Right? So all these things in them you want to pay attention to, because the records in them now, it left there so that you could get the proper spirit. You follow how your forefathers used to rule. That is what you're there for. You know what I mean? So you want to hold into that and see what's going with Nehemiah and what going on. An important spiritual aspect of it too. Remember, all these people in them is just just vessels and of dishonor or surrogates for Satan to come true. Right? So just as with Satan, you follow, you come and tempt you with something you used to do in the world or some kind of garbage, you come and tempt you, you resist him and he'll flee from you. So what go on? They flee. They had no choice because they don't know what's going on. Oh gosh, we are aware. But they're thinking now that they'll sneak up and catch it. That's what going to see there. If you know why you go sneak up and catch you doing something all the time, you catch you, I mean, slipping up now. Right? But when he tempt you, right? Boom, let him come and apply all the pressure and he'll always come every season. It's something different. Wherever it is, you follow, he'll always come. So that now you have to be on guard, you have to be on watch. Right? So when he come in with the flood, when you have the spirit of the Lord, you follow in you, then the standard is raised according to the scripture. Right. That's standard raised, you have no choice but to support. And that is what it is. So you want to understand that at all points and continue to grow and continue to be watchful. So that now when Satan come now, you can let him know what time it is. Just make a skate. Because your people and them ready. You know what I mean? When the entire people are ready, then it's not easy for him to try to penetrate anyway. Right. But they don't have a place for him to rest. There's no place for him to inhabit. You understand? Then leave that to the hidden and them, not for we. ain't for we. You understand? We sons of the power. You understand? That is the spirit that the Lord gave to us. So that is what we have to harness and continue to learn more and more. Gravitate more and more so that we become more strong and solidified in we mental, in we entire spirit. Yeah? All right. We are good too.
Verse 16. And it came to pass from that time forth that half of my servants wrought in the work, and the other half of them held both the spears and the shields and the bows and the habergeons, and the rulers were behind all the house of Judah.
Go ahead.
Verse 17. They which build on the wall, and they that bear burdens with those that laid every one with every one of his hand wrought in the work, and with the other hand held a weapon.
Was writing. You see how critical that is? When I read that blew my mind. I say yes, yeah, because what going on with Nehemiah and physically they had to do that. They had to actually fight, you understand, and build. So they're on guard with a sword in their hand, with some kind of weapon in their hand, and in the next side they building. So imagine we here now how to build up a building, and we totem blocks. Totem blocks in one hand, if all on the next hand we have a sword. That is how dread it is. That is how we have to be on point in this war here. In the last of the dregs here. So we had to learn that as a people. That have to come at the forefront of what it is we doing. Sisters too. It ain't, you know what I mean? It ain't no walk in the park. You have to be on guard. Right? Your weapon could be different, sometimes you actually be physical. Right? So every which way we had to be mindful that this are the heat is coming. They're not going to let them. They're not going to be a walk in the park. They don't want to lose their power seat. They know once we come back to how we're supposed to be, that is it. All this madness had to stop. And now they have to serve. Now they have to go and follow and pay for all the crimes that they have done to us other people. You know what I mean? So that's what we want to be mindful of. You know what I mean? That entire nation. Alright? Once you walk with that, the Lord will definitely understand prosper everything that we are doing. You don't have to worry about whoever want to try this and try that because you're already formulated to how we're supposed to be. Yeah? Natural. You don't have a question when you get a chance.
Verse 18, for the builder, every one had his sword girded by his side.
Right.
And so builded, and he that sounded the trumpet was by me. Verse 19, and I said unto the nobles and the rulers and unto the rest of the people, the work is great and large, and we are separated upon the wall, one far from another.
We done.
Verse 20, in what place therefore, yea, hear the song of the trumpet, we sought thy thither unto us. Our power shall fight for us.
Pause right there. I want to show you something. I don't know if you noticed in the last couple of verses. You see they mentioning the nobles and the rulers? Before, the nobles themselves, as the pastors and the politicians today, right? They didn't want to put their hands to the work. You see they talking to them normal. Nehemiah is so focused and have trust so much in the Most High power. As the same spirit that the UPK have. These brothers and them inside of here. They follow all over the world. That's what you want to have. You don't care what the hell them plan. What the hell they want to do, whatever it is, you didn't focus on that. That is how serious they follow we had to come to as a people, as a nation, how bad we needed them in the ghetto so that we'll stop begging them for this and that and you know what I mean? Oh gosh, you know what I mean? Have a care. We will stop waiting for Gary and son to come and visit me when we son dead or we daughter dead. We won't be on them, we won't expect nothing from them. The hell with them. But we focus on the Most High power, we provide all things, and now we operate on using the ability that He gave to us, you follow? To use the resources and to be resourceful, basically, together as a people, to build what we have to do. And we have time with whoever want to play games. You understand? That is what our nation needs. That is the focus that we need. That is the guidance we need as a people. Yeah, Officer Shah, go ahead.
Yeah, and that really, when you really check today, that we really need the Most High, because when you check like, right, they're saying like, when we check what's going on like through the COVID, right, and you know other parts of COVID laws and things, and you see now we black brothers and them when they go on like they just happen to fund it there and then the water and thing, right? And you see they put them on the ground, they probably show them, put them in maxi, carry them all about the place and thing, right? And now when you watch now, you see all them Syrians and them high class East Indians and them go and keeping the party, the party and thing, and watch no power no power for a black man. All the heads of the government and the president, the prime minister have nothing to say. Nothing to say. And I make it more possible, more general too, that even them is black. The president is a black woman, and the prime minister is a black woman, and what nothing they can't even stand up for the black brothers and them, and see what's going on. All them other nations doing the same things, and no penalty for them, but nothing. Black man getting penalized. One love for the poor, no love for the rich. You understand? I don't know. Right? What Officer Shah is saying is extremely heavy. That is a present day example of what we face as a nation. We are not equal. We were never equal. We are above. We're not even supposed to be going through that. Because of our lack of understanding and appreciation, we fell off. We stopped applying the things that used to keep us protected and not abused as a nation. That is what we're going to. So what Officer Shah said is so heavy, so important and critical for our people to really understand that these other nations, they don't have our best interests at heart. And you see your nobles, the same spirit of your nobles, and in the scriptures right here, they didn't want to put their hand to the work. They don't want to defend us as a nation. That is why Prime Minister Rowley, if follow, could never be equipped, you understand, to lead our people. The same thing with a woman president. Oh gosh, she emotional everything. If she feels to do something, oh boy, you understand, the Lord really keeping her mind stable, because you know sometimes it can get wild because she's not under a priest as well, the instructor in righteousness. As the scripture say, a well-instructed mind. Her mind is not well-instructed. If also that is dangers of you being at the hand and mercy of these people. That is why Nehemiah know that his trust had to be in the Most High Power alone. That is how anything gonna get done. Alright? Real for real. Officer Shah, Baba Shah again for that. I appreciate that very much, brother. Don't know. I really don't want to get a chance to well. Verse 21. So we labored in the work, and half of them held the spears from the rising of the morning till the stars appeared. Verse 22. Likewise, at the same time, said I unto the people, let every one with his servants lodge within Jerusalem, that in the night they may be a guard to us and labor on the day.
Read on.
Verse 23. So neither I, nor my brethren, nor my servants, nor the men of the guard which follow me, none of us put off our clothes, saving that everyone put them off for washing.
Pause right here. You see the mind, you see the fortitude, you see the backbone. You understand? The kind of hardcore man Nehemiah was. Come on, the general YAHANNA, you understand? And the generals then come down. That is why you have to inspire them, because they must see that you go into the brink, the last. Till you're going in, you ain't taking off your clothes. So the same thing that happened with the youngest man, they follow you willing to go the same length. Them, that is when a nation they follow will really be in the same mind, the same judgment, the same spirit. And they know that we go in, understand that we'll go to the last few people. And that is why the YAHANNA, and you'll see them inspired. A leader, you understand, he will take the forefront, he will take the first bullet. Commanding General YAHANNA, I believe it, General Mahiman might push him out the way if he could. If he get a chance to snatch him out the way, good. But Commanding General YAHANNA will take the first bullet. That is what you have to have in here, you understand, as a nation. That is it. You understand, fearless as F. You follow? That is the kind of mindset they encourage in our people as they follow at the forefront of, because the same spirit that he have, that is the spirit that we supposed to have. You follow, the Lord is a man of war, you understand, a champion of war. We have to be champions of war as well. And all these different things is an example of what we're facing today as a nation at war. Yeah, so the mindset of a priest is important to really grasp and understand and begin to come into. You know what I mean? By the grace of mercy of the Most High. All right? So what again, we will jump to anybody when a chance, give me John chapter 10, verse 1 to 9, Baba Shah. And now we're going to touch on the same spirit they follow Nehemiah, but Christ now bringing even a different level now. Right? Or what is he talking about? Yeah, that's what Nehemiah now here, Baba Shah. That is the last verse of chapter 4. Yeah, man. John chapter 10 and verse 1. When you get Baba Shah.
Okay.
No.
Book of John, chapter 10, verse 1. Verily, verily, I say unto you,
right?
He that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber.
You done?
Verse 2. But he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep.
Right. Read on.
Verse 3. To him the potter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calleth his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out.
Right.
And when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice.
That's right. You see what God with man? Same thing with Christ. Yeah, we follow him opening doorways for you to walk through. And here he's saying, you know, a heavy point that he's going into. Read on.
Verse 5. And a stranger will they not follow,
right,
but will flee from him. For they know not the voice of strangers.
You understand? You know not the voice of a stranger. Them heathens and them was anybody walking in that same spirit. You follow the sheep that the Lord calling to this battlefield, to this war, to this governance. You understand? To the building up of a nation, they're not going to follow no garbage. You follow? That is why it's important to pull the people and them out of that and really and truly, you know what I mean? You understand? Go the extra mile as much as possible so that they can really get experience then with the sheep.
Right.
With the sellers, but still like with the shepherd. Alright? Go through, go ahead.
Verse 6. The parable spake YAHWH unto them, but they understood not what things they were which he spake unto them.
Well.
Then said YAHWH unto them again, Verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep.
Pause right there. Right, so in the same spirit that YAHWH walk in, this is how the sheep and gone coming. So this is our responsibility here, you know, that we've been taught in here. You know what I mean? So that they can really actually get that opportunity now to see how real that story is with Nehemiah. Because a lot of people still feel that the Bible is a storybook now. You know what I mean? Somebody might be watching the class right now and not be able to really see, okay, I see what's going on with them there. I hear what they're saying. You know what I mean? But how is it relevant today? You know?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like how real this thing is, because they're thinking that this disappearing, there's a next plague within the minds of our people right now.
Right.
Because of what the heathen and bombard you with and all of these different things. So you see how dread your fight is now in the warfare to really bring back your people up to speed and for them to trust the Most High power, because right now we've broken down, we real mash up as a people.
Right.
But you understand the stories of your people and them, and then the spirit of Christ now functioning, they follow within the men them now. This is what they're going on and look forward for. So this is the parts of them, even without well, it's the same thing we have to a point. Surgeon General in the States, right? He up there, but he's not operating like any man. You understand? So now this is where they have to get a different light and seeing a man from the ground, you know. This is Christ, you know. Walking among the ground, but having a different level of understanding. Paul and all, but I'll leave somebody else to go into that when they get a chance or things like that. You know what I mean? In terms of how Paul was operating at a different level of wisdom. But go ahead.
Verse 8. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them.
Right, you understand? So all that came before them. Right, I would put it towards the Pharisees and Sadducees, because that is the men that leading sheep astray at that point in time. So I'm bringing it to that. Then today I'll bring it up to these pastors and politicians that lead the sheep astray as well. That is why they can't hear and make no change, because the shepherd is not the one that they're hearing right now. That's why you see brothers outside and they'll always say, if I say a man say, well, I don't go to church. Only wife and children want to run, go to church, because they want to feel emotional high now. They want to feel, because as the scripture say, you have a zeal of God, man, not according to knowledge. So all these sisters looking for a place that they can feel that they're doing what they're supposed to do. But these brothers I'm seeing, the danger from a fan saying, you can never catch me sitting in the church. You understand? Because of all the madness they see, they know it's not the right spirit that these brothers are in. You follow? No gangster ain't getting you to come in no church and sit down. You follow? We call it just like that on an ordinary day. If it have a point where he really feel, and I mean like Satan really mash him up in the mind, and he do some kind of wickedness, and he really looking for a opportunity to make a change, he might pass in it, but he wouldn't stay. Because of how pure, you understand, he looking for a real change. That is according to what it is he was on. Because sometimes you find the brothers and them, they're gonna do wickedness in them. They might sell drugs, but they have a intention or they want to do the right thing. They want to feed the people and them. You understand? They probably want justice for their brother, so they want to kill. You know what I mean? Right back way, which is the right spirit. They want to have justice, but it's not understanding, not the right spirit, but the right intention. But they just don't have the right spirit, the right guidelines. Then now what it is you just do to actually get justice now. Yeah, Officer, I can't go ahead. Yes. Yes.
So you gotta want to sell drugs.
Correct.
You know, do that kind of stuff to see whether, you know, I have my little brother
Right.
Pay for college.
Right.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is war available on the table.
Okay.
Especially these nations, them know that. So now what they'll do is make it easily accessible to us. So you know that we don't have that money to put it out there. So they know. And also is win-win-win. Because one, again, you understand the shift off on the mindset is supposed to be on first. So no one can connected to your power if they don't understand the history. That's one. It's a small part. But if you understand that, they know that is everything. They know what boy, you understand you could never rise to how you're supposed to be. And plus, your spirit will be corrupted, you're gonna be such and you'll feel so guilty then. You can't do nothing else. You know what I mean? It'll be hard way to turn away from that. So you're continuing now because you're already on a wrong path. Right? And then number two here now, if all I'm making all this money. You know, look at how much money I'm making here, so boom, 40,000 and again 400,000. Right? All that crack money, yeah, I want to give up that. Right? Two. Officer, so go ahead.
And again, this is why now we always prophesy against these religious organizations,
yes,
Christian pastors.
Yes.
Because now you see in the mindset now are them showing that they hate the sin and they love the sinner.
Correct.
So when a man in that mindset now
right.
feel like this bad doing sin.
Yeah, covered, yeah, justified, yeah.
Continue
doing it. That is it. Because the pastor will get a slice, and then you get money.
Touch more on it now. And they say they understood now.
Correct, that is it. That is it, damn right. Because nobody telling them this is how you're supposed to walk. You're supposed to walk like the shepherd, because they have no shepherd before them. That's why you say this damn thieves and robbers, you're right. You follow? So the next part of it now is okay, to kill people. And now can always put a stigma on you. That is why we're not seeing ourselves as the dignified people at the Most High Power. Right. You know what I mean? The top, the way we call it, the beauty of Jerusalem. Right? The apple of the Most High Eye. You can't see that because our whole systematic, they make sure that we don't come to, that we don't rise them. So the summit of that we don't rise because we're not in the right mind frame. Because sin, you understand, keeping us away from feeling, you understand? Or knowing then, and not even feeling, but knowing that we're doing the right thing. Right? So now you're guilty, of course, and you are guilty. Right? So now the Christ had to come back and show you now, from a ground standpoint now, okay, this is how I need you to walk, because when you have somebody that's in power, right, and they have the right mindset, now you kind of get confidence on that level now. But when you have somebody that's not in power, also they don't have resources to kind of bring you up to speed now, is your entire intention, is ready to build, if you could really have faith and trust in the Most High Power. You know the records of them before, or you hear it coming out. But now when you don't have something physically to earn one time, like you can't get what you call it? Instant gratification, Will you not follow? Will you not trust that the Lord can give you an entire kingdom? Because think about it. If men know that He was going to rule the earth tomorrow, all the riches, everything like that, they follow, they have a different mindset, a different approach to this work. You know what I mean? They have a different goal and mindset inside. They really actually want to love the people because they know why we're going to run everything. But now, because they're so far from you from understanding now, you're getting caught up. You understand? And then that is what the focus is on now, commanding generally and showing you then from a ground standpoint, In the same spirit of Christ, this is what must be your main attention. This is what you have to really actually grasp and hold on to with everything. Because the Lord wants you, understand, to really actually serve Him, you follow, because you appreciate, you follow what it is He make it to be. I would say that. Because He make you to be a people that could do anything tomorrow, you understand? That could run our whole society, could do this, could do that. Then you start from your ground with the right intention. Because you have no reward to get basically. But when you might build up everything, bam, 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 we have a certain amount of dignity, a certain amount of respect now, right? But when you have nothing, so to speak, then how you go operate, how you go work, right? That is a critical key part that you have to know, right? Because Christ, His disciples and telling men when they walk, gold and silver have I not, but such as I give unto you, rise up and walk. You couldn't walk before, right? And then some, remember, 10 lepers get healed, one come back. So when the mind 89 now, I can walk now, but I'm hungry. So now I'm going on my own beat. That is how dangerous it could be to not appreciate, you understand? How having in mind of a priest or somebody to guide you, a priest now guiding you to be able to see, okay, And needed, you understand, to understand the Most High power can do anything at any time. Right? Right? So, you know what I mean? So you want to really get the right spirit so that nothing can Satan can't pull no all over your eye, he can't entice you with nothing. Right? And that is the mindset of a priest. You know, sink or float, wherever it is, nothing gonna pull me away from me, you understand, operating as the Lord wants me to operate. Because I'm a king and a priest. Right? It's not my financial stature doesn't determine if I'm a king or a priest or a king. You understand? That is what you have to grasp in your spirit. Alright? Read on Babakasha up to verse 9. So like I said, read on when you get chance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Verse 9.
Right?
I am the door, but by me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture.
Understand? Imagine that some men would have probably think Christ is a madman. He walking around, you follow, and he, like say, you know what I mean, they really have nothing, so to speak then, right? They walking around by showing you, boom, 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 right? But when you doing, you making miracles happen, no? But in terms of you not seeing a storehouse then. So imagine you looking for a hardware owner. You follow the follow, but nah, Christ coming in the simplest form. And he wanted to get the things in them that are absolutely necessary. That is what our people have to grasp. And then anything else could build. Because once you have the right mind frame, then you really actually go think as a nation and not, you'll always see that you always have. You follow? That is what we have to come to. That is where your level of trust now is supersede. You follow? Just carnal, not in carnal, but just hopes and faith in things that you could probably see. That is what scripture is now telling you later on. You follow? Faith is the evidence of what's it? Somebody give me Babakasha. Let's pull it. Hebrews 11:1 Babakasha. And then you come back to this. Come back to, and then somebody hold John chapter 15 verse 1 Babakasha. Yeah, Karen can, yeah. John 15:1. Anybody hold John 15:1, but I want to touch on Hebrews 11:1 Babakasha. Right?
Which one?
Hebrews 11:1 Babakasha.
Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
You understand? But you're looking for a hardware owner. You're looking for a bakery. I want a supermarket. That is not what the Lord wanted to have in your spirit. Then. You don't want to, you know what I mean, be dependent on anything to shift you off of. Because if I don't have this, I wouldn't be able to work. You understand? If I don't have this, I wouldn't be able to function and think as a nation. We want you with whatever it is you have. When the day come, to trust him, you know what I mean, that to take you through. And that is the confidence you have to have. Nehemiah knew this. He didn't have to be in a position to know it. That is what he had to really grasp. When our nation could start to grasp them concepts on him, now they could pull away from this society. Now they could pull away from this system and dependence on it because they know the Lord has provided everything. Everything. Counsel, strength, might, food, armory, everything like that. He could provide everything. It's just, you had to look, you understand, in a more practical manner in terms of your approach now. But your trust had to be in him putting it together so for you to get, and you can start to build based on that. You understand? So it's not a magic pill, it's not a magic show that the Lord running here. It's a practical way of doing things, but your trust, your confidence have to be in things not seen, the evidence that things hope for, and the evidence that things not seen. They have to be there. And now your works go and be about that because you know the Lord is the man who's going to bring it to come. But your faith and your trust now is because you can't see it, but I know this is the man in charge of everything. As you say, I have 1,000 cattle on a hill, and that is the part that is challenge your carnal, your flesh. You know, because your flesh fighting against that daily. Right? So now your mindset as a priest, you're not elevating on a different level. Yeah? Very real. And that is a reminder, you know what I mean, to all of us at all times. That is something that I keep there. But that is where Satan has come at the pain points, the flesh, because you have to eat on a daily basis. You have to do this, you know what I mean? You want things to function and all of that, but your trust in us and not being the most high power to provide that. You know what I mean? Even if you die, you know what I mean? You keep that standpoint so high that the people know by we don't concern about nothing else. No ruler trying to block nothing, no this, no that, no other. But your mindset is the mind of our priest. If all our mind, our priest is directly connected with his power because he knows that is the man that everything does flow through. Alright? John 15:1, Baba Kasha.
Book of John, chapter 15 and verse 1. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Right? Verse 2. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Verse 3. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself except it abide in the vine, no more can ye expect ye abide in me. Continue.
Read on, Baba Kushaya, go ahead.
Verse 5. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me, ye can do nothing.
Right, that is where you want your power so steady. And your spirit to be the same vein, you understand? Come like you and Christ splice your DNA together. That's what you want, and that's what it really is. You're walking in the same mind of Christ, you follow, because you know that without him you can't do nothing. You follow, and you want to do things, but you want to do it in the mind of Christ, because you know it will come right. It will be done right. You follow, the expectancy of it will be sure, it will be on point. Right? So now when you're battling for the mind of people, you know, these the things that you have to keep in the back of your skull. So that this is the thing that will come out when you're talking with them. You know what I mean? That they'll really get that essence, a brotherhood, a nationhood. Nationhood is built upon that trust in the Most High power. Because now everything you're doing is in sync with it. You know what I mean? Alright? Read on Baba Kisha. Verse 6.
Verse 6. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch, and is withered, and the men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. If ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you.
Boom. You see what he's saying? You abide in me, I abide in you. Because the same thing I would say, the same mind I would have, you would have in you as well. You know what I mean? So whatever you ask, the Lord will accomplish it, because he knows the right purpose for it to be done. Alright, not even critical at any standpoint. And that is what you want. You want the Lord to be with you. You want the Lord to be pleased, and you know he's the man that guiding your thoughts, guiding everything that you want to do. You understand? Yeah, man. Read on, Baba Kusha.
Herein is my Father glorified.
Key point. Key element, the Most High glorified. That is what people must know. Because that is where the source, you understand, our strength coming from. The Lord being glorified, and know this is what we have to do as well. This is the only thing to do. Yeah, man. Read on.
That ye bear much fruit, so ye shall be my disciples.
Right. You follow? So when you're bearing fruit, you know, then people can see the evidence, you follow, of these things. And bearing fruit doesn't always mean you have an next man in the camp. You understand? But they know your uprightness there. You follow the instruction that they need. The healing for people is there. You follow? All these other things will come. You know what I mean? It's always an aspect of it, but you know your mind, you want it to really reflect what Christ is talking about. So the words really and truly living, and they could feel it, they could connect with it, because our people, that is what the Lord put in us. He gave us sinners, and he found out all the ways of knowledge, gave it to Jacob. He teaches laws, statutes, commandments, and judgments of the Israel, they follow. And now what they have to connect with is the Spirit of Christ, so that it now becomes like a lighter match then, you understand, in them. So now you already have weak them. So now that change can really take place and develop. You know what I mean? Alright, you done, Baba Kusha?
As the Father hath loved me, so have I loved you. Continue ye in my love.
My love, you understand? The right type of love. You know what I mean? Because he know that his mind is about leading the sheep the proper way, you understand? Thinking, thoughtfulness, you understand? Caring, charity, you understand? Long suffering, patience, things like that. Right strategy, how to war, you understand? How to talk to potentates, how to well, and nobody gets now. You know what I mean? So you're teaching you all and every which way to walk, and it's because of brotherhood. It's because I understand this thing that the Most I want to put back in us, that we had one side, I want to perfect it now in you. You follow? So now Christ coming now as no big sawati. He coming out as no man that does that big money. He coming out to show you the proper things you need to know. Right? So you can shame all them so-called big pastor, you get shame TD Jakes and all them. That was who they would have been today. All them Pharisees and all of that, because all the structure that they putting up, blinding the people and from the essence of what they're looking for. And behind that, they just putting up the nice things that Christ talking about, you know what I mean? Inside, you know, they have nice open sepulchres and nice looking white and bright and nice little, we call it stained glass and all this garbage, but the people not getting what they're supposed to get. And behind that, they just doing all manner of evil that they want to do because they appear to be righteous. They appear to be the place. That is why they talk about that thing with the sin. You know what I mean? God hate the sin and love the sinner. So it give them an excuse. Go ahead. That is it. That is it. That is it. That is it. That's self. You follow? Because they don't do the things that a Jew supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? So they just have an image, right, but deny the power there. And that is what you want. You know what I mean? You want the power. They want the most high power to back here. So that when you're doing things now, you know it will have an eternal effect. Because it's setting the tone, you know what I mean, for generations come down to be better and better. You know what I mean? And really and truly be able to stand. That's what you want to know. That's what we're talking about in the verse here. You're bearing more fruit. You understand? When bearing fruit, you know, it'll get cut down. You know what I mean? And 25 because it's not helpful. You know what I mean? It's not beneficial to the nation. Because it don't have the right, you understand, combination of ingredients that they need for a nation to survive, to sustain itself. Yeah? You don't have a
Verse 10. If you keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments, and abide in his love. These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you,
right,
and that your joy might be full.
Right. Remember we was talking about some time ago, some class we was watching and we was talking about like the zeal that the Lord has given you. That is what is really function, you know what I mean? That is what is keep you and really give you the ability to walk on a daily basis. The joy of the Lord. The joy of the Lord is coming when you're applying what the Lord says to do. You understand? The right spirit, then you will have joy. Because joy is not that you wouldn't face hard times. But joy is that no matter how hard the day may be, you understand, I know my confidence can remain in the Most High power.
Right.
It go sting at hard, it go sting as hell sometime, you know what I mean? It go hurt. Definitely, but you know your confidence in the Most High power. You can sit back maybe later on and really smile. It's, you know, by the Lord, you understand? I know He controls things, I know He works things out, you know what I mean? It might be what I want, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's the right thing to do. The right thing to come out of it, you know what I mean? And that's what the Lord wants. And I know He knows better than that. I know we have a whole kingdom to run. Even if I never get nothing in this life, you follow? I know in the next life, everything that I give up here, I'll get it in the next life. Yeah? You don't Baba Kusha.
Verse 12. This is my commandment, that ye love one another, as I have loved you.
Right.
Verse 13. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
You understand? So that is what Christ showed me here. See how Christ say, not my will, but the will of my Father. That is what you want to think about in every aspect. Every venture that you're going into, you know what I mean? Not my will, but the will of my Father. You have to say that to yourself many, many times, because that will influence your decision making. Influence how you look at the situation, you know. If you ain't sure, you better go and get some information on it. You better go and get some direction on it. Yeah, because you want the Lord to be glorified. You really want, you know what I mean, that the will of the Father be accomplished. Yeah? Read on Baba Kusha.
Verse 14. Ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth, but I have called you friends. For all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you.
You understand? Like the Lord looking for. That is the kind of friend the Lord looking for. Real brothers, real soulmates. I mean, because everything here that he taught you, that he showed here, is everything the prophets and the law and the prophets and everything sum up. Everything that you would have heard before. Everything in Nehemiah and coming up to this is the pinnacle. This is what I really want you to build on. This is the only thing that will make you all survive. And he know you're gonna die this now, so he's making sure you give them the best. He squeezed and understand himself out to make sure that you get, you know what I mean, exactly what the Lord wants. Because he knows this is the thing that will continue to carry on. Look at the short time that he had, you know what I mean? To really give the people everything. 3 years, you know what I mean? Tell them to understand, because at that time we would not have proper direction, but we'd have understanding of who we are as a people, right? What we used to do, and then you hear certain stories coming up, because that would the blog would be about. Imagine a man, this is a man inside, like the Baba, right? But some kind of talk show between two Jews, you understand? And one of Peter Virgin saying, "Why you talking about by Muslim never used to rock so? We talking about by we don't rock so by Israelites by." You follow? By is the son of Jacob, by that's not Jacob never come so by talking about whatever going crazy or yeah, Pharisee or yeah, Sadducee or you come around with that by, you follow? So imagine that kind of temperament now, right? So he bringing them back in terms of, all right, this is what I want you to understand. I don't want you to lose that vibe. I want you to channel it into giving life to the people of them. You understand? Right. Giving them exactly what the most I want. Yeah? Are you done, Baba Kisha?
Henceforth, I call you not servants, for the servant doeth not what his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you.
All right.
Verse 16.
Oh, God.
Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you, that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you.
That is it. That is it. So everything that needs to be accomplished on the face of the earth will be accomplished. You know what I mean? Because you're walking and you're doing, well, you're being. I ain't gonna say doing. Because you want to be. Whatever you'll be, or whatever you are, you understand, that is what will come out there. That is what you'll express and you'll build on. Yes, so you want to be, you understand, that type of man that Christ is looking for. That friend that he's looking for, because by my friend and rocking tight at me. That is a friend that stick it closer than a brother. That is what you want to be. You know what I mean? You really want to be the most high friend. You want to be one of, sometimes I say in my thoughts sometimes, you know what I mean? Like you want to be a favorite son of the most high. You know what I mean? That is what you want. Yeah, man. All right? We done, Baba Kisha.
Verse 17. These things I command you, that ye love one another. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you.
Right? We done.
Verse 19. If ye were of the world, the world would have loved his own. But because ye are not of the world,
right,
but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you.
Pause right there. You follow? Because remember, the influence of the world at that time is the same thing that we see at different level here. It is which is sin. You understand? All kind of things around the corner, all kind of underhand deal, all kind of, you understand? So that's orgy and all kind of madness. You follow? You're not of the world, you're not of that destructive mind state, that thinking, you know what I mean? All these different wickedness that causes our people to be destroyed physically, mentally, spiritually, in every aspect. It's not beneficial to people and them. So I pull you out of that madness now to walk in the right spirit, in the right vein. Right? And that is what you're supposed to be hated for, you know? Not you walking on the road, but a man have a grudge against you because you're out of time in. You know what I mean? You don't want to be that person. You want to be like how the scripture talking about, you know what I mean? When time come in the Apocrypha, you know, and good music playing, you know what I mean? You learn to let the music play and talking out of turn. You know, you're not out of turn. You're well mannered and you're well balanced. That's what you want to be. You follow? Because remember, a man that have friends, you go show yourself friendly. Right? And that's what Christ talking about. I want to be a friend. I want to be a friend because you rocking right. Christ, they call him a wine baby and a glutton. Right? Because I like to have a decent time, but at the same time, you're not upright. And that is what you really want to try to say, like Sam Balatanam in the beginning of Nehemiah. You try to say in Nehemiah, well, or I get built back in the temple. Who could build them from a heap of stones, a heap of rubbish? No, you follow? That is what the heathen, that the mindset, heathen them. That they hated Nehemiah because that man upright by. You understand? So that's why you want to make sure that you're always in that same vein, in that same mind. And not being hated, you know, not unnecessarily. You're not causing a harm and danger to people. And so it's always something we might be mindful of. Because it's sometimes we lose with certain things. Right? And it's not something you intend to do now. You follow? You definitely want to be intentional in being disrespectful or out of character at all. That is a no-no. That is not the most side, because the most side is not a man. He tell you, you know what I mean? Come here. Come here, you understand? Serve me. He not that. You follow, so you're not supposed to be in no way, shape, or form close to that. You trying to pound people over here to get the truth inside there. No. You understand why you coming at you, showing you something? Hey, you see that wickedness in the neighbor? Hey, you destructive nation. Look at what you're doing here. You understand where not you are? If I come in and this way. You understand? It have time and place for that. So Nehemiah and them on the same pulpit, they would have the same thing, but wisdom coming out of the mouth. The way the people can't say, well, by Nehemiah, but you are a hypocrite boy. You understand? You got to come around me? No. They know what by other just back and take it on my chest because, hey, you know, he right. You understand? That weight is all they're doing there, destructive. You follow the Lord never sanctioned that for me. That was never be custom to move so like an Egyptian, like a nasty African, you understand? But I call by see. Is that? Yeah, good job, Mr. Michael. Good job.
And exactly you say this is true because when it was a born for following the scriptures,
Right.
every one of them they always set the example.
Correct.
So that everybody else have a pattern to follow.
That is it.
Right?
Correct.
They never leave from behind.
Correct.
Everybody can look up to them and see the example.
I'm right.
So if they're talking about not being a homosexual,
Correct.
they themselves had to not be a homosexual.
That is it.
Right.
Correct. Correct.
If you're talking about not being a adulterer, they themselves had to not be a adulterer.
That is it.
If you're talking about brotherhood, they themselves had to show brotherhood.
That is it.
You understand?
Correct.
And what for the men to follow.
That is it.
Straight down, and just as Christ came, he came to set the example for them.
Correct. Correct. That's right. Solid, of course, because that is the thing that will make a society stand. Like what they be seen as the most important thing. So they know it's critical to hold that standard. Nobody else understand. They can't see nothing shorter than that. They have to, you understand, that have to be to follow who you is for them to understand the change. That is the only way you follow people and going to rise. But than that, you're working in vain. It's better you're going they're going to have a time somewhere, you know what I mean? Because you're not on the same mind that Christ on. You're not in the same mind the Most High call, you understand, to do it is or be who you're supposed to be. I'd say that. An important part, I want to change it from do and to be. You follow, because that is who we're supposed to be. The sons of the Most High power. Children of Israel. You understand? So anybody see him, everybody gets the interaction with them, it's upright. You follow? Day and night. Wherever you go, wherever you stand, that is where it is. Right? And that is the things that people could you follow, follow, and whatever the case is, a man can hate you for 3 years, but you're going, he'll appreciate that. That same man who hate you for 3 years, by your jamming movie. You understand? By licks as much as I had to take it, but I know you're right. I know you're a pride man, but I know you're serving the Most High power, you understand? Yeah. And all them things that I hated about you, you follow, it's all the things and all the weaknesses, all the sins and them that was in me, that I need to push out, you know what I mean? Yeah. And if every man in here will be honest, some man, you understand, they will be coming at something. If only you see that you didn't like, you know what I mean? Because it was affecting your mental, yeah, inside of you. You know what I mean? So with time, you know what I mean? Yeah, by the grace of the Most High, you stick it out, and that's what you want to teach your people. But you don't want to be a hindrance to them. You don't want to be a stumbling block for them to come in and get a change that they need. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Most High in Christ again. Hold on. You know what I mean? So with that, pass the water piece and officer, my calling.
This is the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18, Numbers chapter 18 and verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3 verses 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew and it's pronounced ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation. The upcoming holy convocation is the memorial blowing of the trumpet. So it says the first day of the 7th month, Thursday, September 17,
2020. You can find it in Leviticus chapter 23, verses 24 to 25. Remind Akim and Aquatium to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If your brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he's to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, like shirt, like headbands, or scarf. And with that, we say, I imagine, we're going to turn and face the east. We're going to begin with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Wadash, Ayah, Shamka, Yahawa, Malakaka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Ayah, Aisha, Baratiza, Kawa, Ayah, Mashamayim, Natananaw, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalakna, Kawatna, Kasalakna, Kawatina, Wala'a, Tabayanaw, Walasayawan, Abal, our shine, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Ala, Wataparat, Iwalamyam, Aman.
All right, what we just said in the English was our Father, who art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
We're going to say the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahawashi, Wa Makala, Wa Alahayim, Matizabia, Wa YAHANNA, Ha Alawapia, Ha Saranya, Ha Kwatazayanyam, Ha Kayalyam, Wa Akwapia, Yahweh, Ba-Shem, Yahushai, to Wada Aman.
All right, we just said in the English was bless Yahweh, and Yahawashi, and Michael, and the angels, commanding generals, captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashi, thank you, so be it.
We're going to say Hakak, or the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba-Shem, Yahawashi, Wawakasha, Natananawa, Hakak, Larapa, Kalmakala, Kalmanawa, Hakak, Lata, Atamazaria, Hakak, Lahakwayam, Lamatayam, Hakak, Ilrakawat, Atamayala, Lagarashan, Ba-Shem, Yahawashi, to Wada Aman.
What you just said in the English was Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashi. Please give us the power. Cause the heal. All manner of sickness. All manner of disease. Cause to cleanse the leper. Cause to raise the dead. To fall against some clean spirit. To cast them out. In the name of Yahawashi. Thank you. So be it. All right. This is the I.S.U.P.K curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh. King of heaven and earth. And all things living. Yahweh. In the name of Yahawashi. Listen to us now. Right now. Send evils and curses. And punishment and destruction. To the heathen. That speak against us. Thy prophets. The teachers. The princes. The priests. The Israelite brothers. And the school. Send evils and curses. And punishment and destruction. To the heathen. And shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel, that refuse to give to the school, force the riches to enter into thy sanctuary, send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction, the Edomites, and the nation, and their drug dealers, the court system, prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posikomatasi, gay movement, lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airwaves.
And the airwaves.
Cable access channels.
Cable access channels.
And the radio channels.
And the radio channels.
Convict the spirit.
Convict the spirits.
Of any of thy people.
Of any of thy people.
Seek to stop us.
That seek to stop us.
And bring some destruction.
And bring some destruction.
To all the heathen.
To all the heathen.
That stand in the way.
That stand in the way.
Or try to stop us.
Or try to stop us.
From broadcasting your word.
Broadcasting your words.
To all the planet Earth.
To all the planet Earth.
Let loose all the planes.
Let loose all the planes.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro.
To the earth. And consume them.
And consume them.
Let the plague shake.
Let the plague shake.
The house of the thief.
The house of the thief.
And the murderer.
And the murderer.
Then Yahushua.
Michael.
Gabriel. Come down with the flying saucers.
Come down with the flying saucers.
And punish all the heathen.
And punish all the heathen.
That come up against us.
That come up against us.
As you speak thy word.
As you speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all.
Cause it to be known by all.
It is the angels that have done it.
That is the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread to the media.
Cause it to be spread to the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake as I come.
Cause them to shake as I come.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it. We're going to say the bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Bashem. Yahushai. Barak Lanawa. Shalom. Habayak. Sapariah. Barak. Rapah. Agan.
Kwasi Shikana Aisha. All the brothers and sisters fighting to come into the truth.
All the brothers and sisters fighting to come into the truth.
And all the brothers and sisters in the truth.
And all the brothers and sisters in the truth.
Commander General YAHANNA.
Commander General.
All the generals.
All the generals.
Captains.
Officers.
Troopers. Sisters. Children. The destroyed of Israel. All 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
All 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
Brothers and sisters in the I.S.U.P.K.
Brothers and sisters in the I.S.U.P.K.
Throughout the world.
Throughout the world.
Brothers and sisters in the I.S.U.P.K. Trinidad and Tobago.
Brothers and sisters in the I.S.U.P.K. Trinidad and Tobago.
And their families.
And their families.
Aitisha.
Partizan. Tamar.
Commander General YAHANNA.
Commander General.
General.
Captains.
Officers.
Troopers. Sisters. Children.
All the destroyed of Israel.
All the destroyed of Israel.
Kayalwana.
Barak Shariah.
Kintian family.
Ocean family. Koto family. Philip family.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commander General.
All the generals. All the captains. All the officers. All the troopers. All the sisters. Kintian family. Osilan family. Shamka. Kaya. Yapa. Para. Of Sabariat and family.
Commander General.
Generals. Captains. Officers. Troopers. Sisters. Children. The destroyed of Israel.
I.S.U.P.K. trying to be.
I.S.U.P.K. trying to be.
Philip family.
John family.
Alexis
family.
Koto
family. Yakab. Martazar. Rada.
Commander General.
Generals. Captains.
Officers.
Troopers.
Students. Sisters. Children. All the children of Israel. All I.S.U.P.K. Trinidad and Tobago and our families.
All I.S.U.P.K. Trinidad and Tobago and our families.
Sabariat and family. Next brother.
Commander YAHANNA. Generals. Captains. Officers. Troopers. Sisters. Children. All the destroyed of Israel. John family. Koto family. Alexis family. Philip family. Of Sabariat and family.
All brothers and sisters in the I.S.U.P.K.
All brothers and sisters in the I.S.U.P.K.
All brothers and sisters fighting from the truth. All the days you can turn in the I.S.U.P.K.
All the days you can turn in the I.S.U.P.K. Francois family. Brown family. Zion. Wesleyan. Daniela. Camelia. Ashida. Nima. Khadija. Trisha. Angel. Bashem. Yahushai. Tawadaman.
Right? What we just said in the English was Lord. In the name of Yahushua. Bless us. And Israel. And the school. Bless. Heal. Shield. Protect. Our loved ones. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
Sir, men of Israel, let's give the teacher a one courtesy salute. A Majam Shabbat. Majam. Barak. Yad Mata. Men of Israel, let's give the sisters online a one courtesy salute. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine. Barak.
Yahweh Shemana Tanba Shem Yahushai.
Yad Yad Mata. Class dismissed.